Every time a major studio drops a trailer for a remake, reboot, or whatever reimagining means this week, a familiar question arises from the internet's collective eye roll. Is Hollywood out of ideas or just allergic to new ones? You'll think with all the AI, deepfakes, the budget bloating VFX wizardry at their disposal, they'll find a way to invent something fresh. But nah, instead, they're like, hey, remember that movie you loved 30 years ago? Let's do it again, but with 40% more CGI and 60% less soul. From The Lion King to Ghostbusters, from West Side Story to The Little Mermaid, the silver screen is starting to feel like a time machine stuck in a loop. 2024 alone saw over half of major studio releases fall into the pre-owned category. Sequels, remakes, spin-offs, and legacy reboots nobody really asked for, but we'll probably still watch out of morbid curiosity. It's not just a phase anymore. This is the new Hollywood operating system. Ctrl-C, Ctrl-V, slap a new cast on it, drop a teaser on a Thursday, and wait for nostalgia clicks to roll in. Studios are businesses, plain and simple. And when you're staring down the barrel of a $200 million budget, plus marketing, plus Chris Pratt's salary, you start thinking less like an artist and more like an accountant with anxiety. And that's why remakes are the corporate equivalent of comfort food. They're safe, they're familiar, and most importantly, they come with a built-in fan base that will just show up even if it's just a hate watch. Why roll the dice on a risky new idea when you can repackage a 90s classic, crank the saturation to 11, and call it bold new vision? But here's a rub, and it's a big one. When safety becomes the top priority, creativity goes out the window. Just like that. Like you just realized it wasn't a horror movie. Are we really pushing the envelope here? Or are we just polishing the same old envelope, putting it in a snazzy box and selling it as new? Because this time, Ariel has different hair? I mean, nostalgia is nice. It's like a warm blanket, but when every movie is that same blanket in a slightly different shade, you start to wonder if we're really celebrating innovation or just fearfully remixing our childhoods so studios can keep their stockholders smiling and their yachts fueled. But before we go full scorched earth on Hollywood, let's pump the brakes and take a quick look in the mirror. Yeah, that mirror. The one lit by your TV while you binge yet another remake at 2 a.m. Studios aren't just throwing spaghetti at the wall for fun. They're throwing it because we keep licking the wall. We show up for remakes like clockwork. We rage tweets the trailer, say it ruined our childhood. And then we go see it anyway. Twice with popcorn. We stream these reboots in record numbers, and algorithms don't care if your review was a 5-star praise or a 1-star dumpster fire. They just see the clicks. And Hollywood sees dollar signs in those clicks and thinks, why fix what keeps printing money? Let's be honest. Originality is now the cinematic equivalent of ordering a weird new item on the menu. Interesting, risky, and probably going to be gone next week. Meanwhile, remakes are the safe cheeseburger everyone orders. Even if they complain it doesn't taste like it used to, our obsession with nostalgia has basically turned new ideas into box office Russian roulette. So yeah, Hollywood might be running the remake factory, but we're the loyal customers lining up with our wallets, pitchforks, and extras yelling stop while buying another ticket. Outside the blockbuster circuit, original ideas thrive. In indie films, international cinema, and streaming platforms willing to take creative risks, like Everything Everywhere All at Once, Get Out, Parasite, and recently Sinners. These successes prove that innovation still exists, but it's often buried beneath an avalanche of safe, profitable sameness. What happens to a culture that only retells its greatest hits on a loop? Well, it's like a band that refuses to write new songs and just keeps releasing live versions of the same album from 1987. At some point, you're not evolving, you're just karaokeing your legacy. When we remake the same stories for the 10th time, And yes, we're looking at you, Spider-Man. We're not just being creatively lazy. We're basically bubble wrapping our imagination in nostalgia and throwing the key into the Netflix algorithm. It's not just about boredom. It's about shrinking the emotional range of what stories can do. Everything becomes safe. PG-13 remix of something that was once bold, strange, or meaningful. Original stories? Well, those are the ones that punch you in the brain and stay in your gut for days. They challenge you, maybe even make you question your life choices, or at least make you Google something weird at 1 a.m. They're messy, they're risky, and sometimes gloriously misunderstood. But that's what makes them powerful. Remakes, on the other hand, they're cinematic comfort food. And don't get me wrong, sometimes you do want a grilled cheese and a warm blanket. But if that's all you ever consume, don't be surprised when your cultural diet turns bland, bloated, and spiritually lactose intolerant. Hollywood isn't out of ideas. It's out of courage. Until risk is rewarded and originality becomes as bankable as nostalgia, expect more recycled content. The question is, will audiences continue settling for it? Or are we ready, truly ready for something new? Let me know what you think about all of it. Are remakes your thing, or do you think Hollywood could do with taking more chances? Let me know in the comments. Also, if you like what you just saw, please do like, share, and subscribe to this channel, Moviematic. Till the next time, go see yourself a great movie. Peace.